Dealing with stress, and what do you do? I thought this is a great time for this. Then I thought of Lori, and you went, this is going to be great for Lori. But it's not just for Lori, it's for holiday stressors, and we all have them. So
Yeah.
there's like three major stressors that we kind of like things fall underneath. There's going to be others, so don't say, well, what about this? What about this? Yeah. But there's three major ones that come up. The first one that comes up under stress is we kind of have guilt about things. So guilt is a big stressor that we have in our physical bodies. And then guilt can go on for years and years. Guilt can be something that you got from somebody imposed guilt on you. You did something that you feel bad about, so you have guilt. So the word guilt and stress are friends. Then you can have deep loss. So it can be a father, things that come up, so deep loss. And the third one, which is given, was working or living in a hated environment. So people that don't like their job, they don't like where they're living, like Jess, you got out of one place, now you don't have that horrible stress of where you were living, so you understand. So we have that. Does everyone understand those three basic ones?
Oh, yeah.
Now, you can look at them all and you can find in your life where you might have already had them. Does anyone have anything that they'd like to offer of those three? Guilt, a deep loss, or working in a hated? Sharon, go.
Well, my sister is still fresh. It's under a year. So, I've been feeling her a lot. And, all this stuff in my house is making me very uncomfortable in my house. So all those things add to my stress.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. All right. Anyone else? P.
Working in a hated environment. Current job is crazy. It's not getting any better. It's not letting up. It's really driving me insane. I will always continue to be grateful for having employment. Don't get me wrong. It's just the amount of work and the type of work and people who I'm dealing with while at work, whether I'm working from home or the one day in office, nonstop. Can you guys calm the hell down? So, yeah.
Okay. Anyone else?
I would say the same thing though. I like my job now better than my last job, but I still don't like it. It's not like what I would choose to do with my life, So it kind of I kind of feel like it cuts into my life because I have to go there for 8 hours and then it drains me because I really don't want to do that particular job. Then anything else that I want to do, I'm just drained at that point, and I just don't want to do anything,
Yeah, you have no energy to do the things you really want to do.
Yeah, but I am glad I have a job because, people are losing their jobs right now and everything.
Yeah, it's the idea is that the stress you get from being in an environment that you don't want to be in it's not about not being grateful or thankful. It's not about that. It's just about how you hold stress based on things that what you just said. I don't want to do this, and I'm grateful I have it, but I can't get anything else done. So that creates a whole lot of stress in the body. Okay, so Mark, it's a great example.
Yeah, and I spend all day anticipating what I want to do to the point where, you know what I mean? All my energy went into thinking about it,
Yeah.
I don't know. And then it's like I'm already burned out and I didn't even do it yet.
Okay.
Weird.
It's not. It's anyone else? Casey?
So I know I have an organizational mind, as we talked about last week, but I think sometimes the guilt sometimes gets too much to me as I'm learning to let go of control, because everything can't be perfect, and just going with it. So, just like Chris came home this weekend, the house has got to be done. Nope, let it go. So, but that comes in the way and plays with you a lot, and the kids and all that.
All right, that's something to work. That's something that you can. Well, if you want, we can work on that. But anyway, I get the guilt part of it. But it really, these stressors are buried. They're deep. They actually can take other stresses that could be light, and it draws them in deeper, and they go further into the body. And it's harder to get rid of small stresses because you have these huge anchors, which is based on these three mostly. Now, there are a lot of other stressors like you're going to be late for work. Yeah, but there's an end in sight. So that's not a big stressor. Or you have to go to the doctor and you're worried about the result, but then you're going to get the result. Or I have to take a test, but you're going to find out. Or you have a meeting. and you're going to find the result. We're talking about stressors that sit there and they're hard to move. So that's why these 3 titles are deeper stressors than the more simple ones. Okay. Robin, what about you? You've had you've had an interesting life. You must have one of these 3 that
Completely.
registers. Yeah.
Yeah, completely. It's not present now, so I was quiet, but I really understand how stress, for me, it was being in an environment I didn't want to be in.
Right.
And it manifested physically with me. I developed ulcerative proctitis.
Painful.
Very severely. So
Yeah.
then added stress of that, because I could never go anywhere, or I could be at work, and you have uncontrolled bowel movements. And I mean, that's stress. So yeah, I get it. I totally understand how it manifests in the body.
Yeah. Now, when I got this, I was thinking of you and that whole situation. Robin works with me with Goya, and I've known Robin 20 whatever years, a long time. But watching her go through this stuff, sometimes from the outside, sometimes more recently from the inside, that fit perfectly, working or living in a hated environment, and how that stress can impact you so deeply. Her face popped up first because I know that is specifically where she was, not where she is now, but where she was. So I knew she'd relate to that. That's hard, and it was harsh.
Yeah.
Yeah, made me cry at her wedding. Really, it did. Okay. So the thing basically is everything that has an end in sight is not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the things that don't look like they have an end in sight. Jacqueline, anything? I can't see your face, so I have to just ask you. Is there anything for you that falls in those categories? Guilt, deep loss, or working or living in a hated environment?
Guilt, growing up Catholic, I think you're born into guilt. Which is,
oh yeah,
but,
me too.
and also there's a bit of the living in an environment where you don't feel comfortable.
Right. Okay. Thank you. Thanks everyone for sharing.